Wendy Hui Kyung Chen. New media are wonderfully creepy.
They are endlessly fascinating yet boring.
Addictive yet revolting. Banal yet revolutionary.
Welcome to Utopia. You can call me the narrator, and I will guide you through stories, real and unreal, facts and speculation, things that are grounded in our digital reality. Today's story: connectedness.
Episode 1.
In its creation, the internet was simple. By going through the memories of old sites where the user interface relies on simplicity and text and simple images, it is arguably easy to express how one-dimensional everything feels. And then the internet grows. Like the dawn of civilization, people comes in and they create and develop new things. The web becomes the web 2.0, 3.0. There are cultures, memes. There are certain intricacies and harmony and anarchy on the internet as it cultivates, develops, and creates. This is not just a throwaway observation. A study on Facebook by Anne Helmond, David Newborg, and Fernando van der Vist discusses Meta, or Facebook, as a company growing from its beginning, a social media application for university students, to its giant, and I meant giant, web of technical operations and business operations. It speaks on growth and evolution of media platform in terms of one, stakeholders' needs, and two, branching out and embedding itself in other markets. Our reality is built a system. Our digital reality is grounded in a system.
What comes after?
The question tonight is simple: connectedness in the sense of your relationship with another human, your relationship with the things that exist in the world, your relationship with the screens on your hands. What do you think about uninterrupted connectivity? Uninterrupted connectivity. That should be the tagline of great digital platforms. The internet, your phone, your laptop, your Instagram, your Twitter, they promise boundless connection. Fret not to make friends from around the world. As long as you have connection and a smartphone, you can live a content and comfortable modern life.
Or do you?
Uninterrupted connectivity. Do you yearn for it? Stories about children addicted to games have been told since gaming consoles existed, and our parents are pointing the blame to smartphone and internet addiction. But are children the only people foolish enough to be the victim?
Hallows Eve, 1938. Trick-or-treaters kept knocking on the door for sweets. Mother cooked dinner, and father turned on the radio. It should be the family's favorite show, the Mercury Theatre on Air. Things turned south really quickly.
We now return you to Carl Phillips at Grover's Mill.
Ladies and gentlemen, am I on? Ladies and gentlemen, here I am, back of a stone wall that adjoins Mr. Wilmot's garden. From here, I get a sweep of the whole scene. I'll give you every detail as long as I can talk and as long as I can see. More state police have arrived. They're drawing up a cordon in front of the pit. About 30 of them. No need to push the crowd back now. They're willing to keep their distance. The captain's conferring with someone. Can't quite see who. Oh, yes, I believe it's Professor Pearson. Yes, it is. Now they've parted, and the professor moves around one side, studying the object while the captain and two policemen advance with something in their hands. I can see it now. It's a white handkerchief tied to a pole. Flag of truce. If those creatures know what that means, what anything means.
As Mercury Theatre on Air ends, the theatre curtain closes. Orson Welles' show for that night was a success. It was the broadcast that terrified the nation.
Orson Welles' play successfully convinced people that an alien invasion is happening. People argued over whether the public panic was as severe as it is often quoted. But regardless of whether it is 100 or 1,000 people, people believed and they were fooled. Radio at the time was at its height. It is everyone's favorite form of entertainment and news. When father puts on CBS network radio, he did not realize that the reporter was playing pretend. He pieced together that it should be a real story. And how would you imagine the same story of War of the Worlds playing out in the present time?
Tonight is Hallows Eve in 2022. Trick-or-treaters kept knocking on the door for sweets. Mother cooked dinner and father turned on the television. Should be the family's favorite. Have you seen this? A friend sent a video. I opened Twitter. The trending tags read UFO 35,000 tweets, spaceship 20,000 tweets, aliens 30,000 tweets. I opened Instagram. People are uploading Instagram stories of blurry night sky pictures. A photo is captioned Alien Invasion? Question mark?
How would the panic that ensued after War of the Worlds play out in our digital world? How would people react to an actual alien invasion happening at the present time? News travels fast and in a disorganized manner in our current world. While journalists try to type as fast as they can to publish on their respective sites or Twitter newspaper, people talk on Twitter and films on TikTok and Instagram quicker than the news are able to confirm. If War of the Worlds is trending on Twitter, you would understand it is a show by reading the tweets. In the next few hours, TikTok videos discuss the show and recommend people to watch it. The internet is a structure, and we explore each level and turns for information. The story is one and coherent, but it is scattered across different platforms through different people, giving their perspectives, enriching the story, or creating confusion. I draw these parallels from a concept called transmedia storytelling. While the concept itself was birthed from mostly observations on pop culture and fandom culture, it highlights the possibility for information to flow in the current times. It regards digital and non-digital media platforms as structures of information where we piece together a narrative. And it could be a Star Wars story, or a political campaign from a political figure, or breaking news. It paints the picture of how news travels during our time of constant connectedness. Uninterrupted connectivity. It promises great things. I am able to have a call with my relatives relatively easily. I get to see the news of my middle school friends getting married at 20. There are many good things that comes with this promise of freedom. Lupinacci wrote on liveness and compulsory continuous connectedness in social media and found through interviews that excitement and reassurance are within the comfort that social media provides. Humans seek connection and information, and to have connection and information is part of survival. But is that all there is to it? Disclaimer. The following story will summarize a traumatic event that might affect some of our listeners. No retellings of graphic imagery will be told. On the night of October 29th, 2022, several videos and graphic imagery were posted on Twitter. More pictures and videos, uncensored, were being posted throughout the night. Journalists and Twitter users at Itaewon, the scene of the tragedy, reported in real time what has happened. During the first few hours, continuous coverage on Twitter and Instagram from people on the scene and miles away shares uncensored pictures and videos of the tragedy, disregarding the fact that many of the videos are graphic as well as containing images of the victims. Twitter Courier issued a statement asking users to take down and report tweets containing pictures and videos of the tragedy that night. The South Korean government issued a recommendation for people at the scene, as well as those who witnessed the news, to seek help and guidance for post-trauma. Lupinacci in their writing wrote that connectedness creates 5 types of experiences. The first 2 I've mentioned, excitement and reassurance. The rest, anxiety, fatigue, and responsibility. Information and news dispersed through social media, if it is Marvel or Star Wars or the latest memes and TikTok trends, uninterrupted connectivity seems like hours of entertainment. But how many of those hours of continuous scrolling end up with a disconnect? I think what happened with the coverage of Itaewon at the time was a telling story of the 3. There is a sense of responsibility to post and share the news. But how much of our mindless scrolling ends us with absent-mindedness of posting pictures and videos without regard? How much of that coverage affects us mentally? Many questions arise as uninterrupted connectivity becomes absent-minded connectivity. Throughout the episode, we have explored stories of fiction and reality. Our digital world is an infrastructure where information and news and stories travel. In a constant, continuous cycle, silly trends and serious news happen simultaneously online. As our brains become more and more stimulated, we shall think about its effects on how we feel and how we behave. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
End of episode 1.